Primary swing thought. I was working on my grip and I was working on the way, just my takeaway really, get my grip a little stronger, and it was a bit too weak. My right hand was a bit too over, so working on it slowly and it's coming along nicely.
Balancing it all out.
Rotate a little bit more.
Staying centered and complete in the backswing.
How hard I rotate.
Get back to the fundamentals.
This young Australian star was originally recognised as the younger brother to LPGA star Minjee Lee. Not anymore. Min Woo got to cooking. He let his clubs do the talking, and he has steadily climbed up the world rankings. All the while, Woozy has grown a legion of fans with his charisma, his swagger, and his big game. Min Woo plays boldly, hits the ball hard, he rises to the occasion, and he has copious skills. There is no doubt that this chef can cook.
How about that 323-yard carry?
Ninth in the field in strokes gained off the tee this week. It has been a potent combination of accuracy and power. Asking that one to cut, start peeling back, and it will catch the fairway.
The aggressive line is rewarded.
I mean, this is really the type of swing we're going to see more and more of in the future.
Minjee Lee is about 6 feet tall. He weighs 165, but he is speedy and he is fast. And he has, to me, what's almost the prototypical modern young player golf swing. At address, he sets up, he creates a lot of space for himself, but the one thing he does beautifully is he situates all the body pressure right over the middle of the body. You see the plumb line down there from about the nape of the neck, clips the kneecaps, all the way into the balls of the feet. Very balanced, very strong, very ready to support this powerful and fast golf swing. He can accelerate this golf club through contact up to about 124 miles an hour. That is crazy fast. In fact, in 2024, that was 5th on the PGA Tour. So there's the solid base. Now he can go ahead and fire this cannon. As he starts away, you'll see the club face stand up and point into the sky a little faster than most, but it's almost idiosyncratic of Min Woo. So off we go, the club's away. It begins to hinge up as he puts down force on the handle of the club. So as he pushes the hands down, it stands the shaft of the club up into the sky a little bit more than you'd see most players with a driver. But I love that. See the left arms across the body, the right elbows in front of him. He's created that relationship where elbows are in front of shoulders as the torso, the core, wind him up to the top of the swing. So from there, he set the whole thing up. He just now continues to wind up, has got a massive pivot. Body turns, arms raised to the sky. Things get a little laid off right there, and you can see a nice situation where the left wrist is beautifully flat, the club face is nice and strong, but see as those arms have raised, he's almost hidden his chin a little bit more. Golfers, teachers would say, you should get the left shoulder under the chin, or the lead shoulder under the chin. Not Min Woo, he's just like, I'm gonna turn this engine up and I'm gonna let it go. So back to where that backswing was, it's right in about that position. Now as he transitions down, you're going to see the handle fall down as the club shaft continues to shallow. So into transition, body winds, there's a shallowing move, and right down here, you see how he's created an environment where the shaft was more vertical going back, now it's certainly more shallow coming down. And that look right there, where the hands are about waist high, with the shaft of the club laying right across the trail forearm, that is magic. He's doing that all the while. Look at the disassociation between lower body and upper body. I mean, that lower body is looking out in front of the ball and the upper body is looking behind the ball. That's huge torque across the middle. Now he's going to allow that to create sling and speed from the arms into the club head. He continues to unwind. The body will now begin to push up a little bit more, and watch this arm release of the golf club into the ball. Things square up. Hips are open, shoulders are now open, club face is right over the back of the golf ball. That was pure acceleration. That club was behind his body. Now it's back in front of him over the middle of the golf ball at high speed. From there, see this cone? I'll call it like a cone for success. Watch how he's going to get the club right through the middle of that. That's what allows him to square off the face and get the ball back on line. So he keeps the club shaft in this cone for success while using this massive body action, especially through here, the core, to wind, to unwind, and sling mammoth amounts of energy out of his core into the club head and by extension the golf ball. As he follows through, it's majestic to watch. He's bold, he's unafraid, he hits it hard, and wherever it lands, he just goes and finds it and hits it hard again.
Well, that is just hammered. My goodness.
Hold on to your hats with Minwoo. Almost 190 ball speed on that one. That is elite.
With his driver, he cruises at about 124 to 128 miles per hour club head speed. It is ridiculous.
It is. That pound for pound, he has to be the fastest. He's not a big guy, just wiry, ballistic speed.
Does it look like Minwoo is about to roast one? Heck, yes it does. Check out the stance. How's the width of the stance? To me, though, as hard as what he swings it, remember, about 124 miles an hour, it provides a beautifully stable base. So you see that look right there? It basically centralizes his hips, the torso, the engine, that engine room of his golf swing, and it defines where that can move to allow him to get the club face back to the golf ball consistently. So he's behind the ball with the spine. The ball's forward. He's built this wide base, but watch for the centrality of the hips in that area. But first now, as we swing away, he'll put some down force onto the handle. It'll start to hinge the driver head up, in contrast to most who will keep it low to the ground. So right now, force down stands the shaft up. That's a beautiful look, and I'm going to draw this right here, and I want you to think of L for leverage, or L for long, luscious. So there's the first L. So he's set that up in the backswing now. Now he continues to wind up all the way to the top. The body will turn, the right hip gets behind him, and can you see how he's inside of those original lines that we drew at his feet? His engine, that torso is right still underneath him, yet he stretched that upper body all the way around there with a big stretch in the arms. Now we're going to stop him basically in the same place we did going back, and watch what happens to that L. So he transitions, arms drop down, and look at this now. You see he's cut that L in half, yet all the while, this core is right inside of where it's allowed to perform. That is incredible looking. From there now, watch how his hips will unwind. He doesn't slide left, it's pure rotation. And he unhinges those wrists. And check this out. You see those hips have basically turned in one place. It's kept his body behind the ball. The ball's forward in his stance. And look at this daylight we can see right through here. That is an anomaly. I doubt you'll see a PGA Tour player with a driver get their arms that far in front of the body. But Minwoo can because of the arm speed and because of where the hips rotate in relation to their feet. You see the hips are still inside of the feet over here. So he's created that upswinging launch with a whole heap of club head speed. Now remember the L we had set up on this side of the swing that looks something like that? Watch how it's going to become a straight line midway into the follow through. So there is right arm club all in one straight line. So he's gone from a situation where this L, which was narrow, he slung the club head all the way out of that into that position, off a central hub. Can you see why this guy, who's only about 165 pounds, 6'1", can absolutely rip it? From there, wrist rehinge, he follows through. You see, he doesn't have a bunch of weight in his forward foot. He's just turned like a top inside of his feet, slung that club around him, and smashed another drive over 315 yards down the fairway.
You know, he's just such an exciting player to watch. He creates so much speed. You know, he can get ball speed up around 190 miles an hour.
Split the fairway, Woody.
He did, just right of the flag, turning over nicely.
Let him cook.
Wonderful, wonderful there, Minjee Lee.
The chef could have an ending birdie here.
He's been very impressive in Europe. Wonderful shot there. Great golf swing. He's got everything. Great package. Obviously, good stock too. If he was a horse, he'd be worth a few quid. Comes from good stock.
No luck necessary. That is awesome.
At the 13th.
Yeah, really narrow fairway here. The shortest par 4 here.
Big personality, a lot of game, and he makes it from the fairway. How about that for Minjee Lee? There you go.
You've heard of the term compression. Well, if you listen to most golf pundits, they'll say to hit an iron well, you have to compress the golf ball. And compress the golf ball means you have to de-loft the club face, create some shaft lean, and then almost squeeze the ball between the club face and the ground at contact. Minjee Lee is a beautiful example of that. And I've seen him sting a plethora of beautifully struck iron shots. So here we are at address, and I want to just swing through this one time so you can get a feel for the fact that even though his swing looks short, it's never jerky, it's never hurried. It assembles speed well. So as he swings back, there's the wrist hinge, wide and short to the top, but watch transition. There's no pull down, the arms fall down into position. Then the follow through, see how the body looks like it follows the club through there? And the upper body is all the way over that lead leg, and the hips have never run out from underneath them. It really is a cool, very powerful action. So let's look into this. Let's take a peek under the hood. So there's an iron from 185 or so. This is likely a soft 7 iron, perhaps a really hard 8. Early in the morning, probably 7 for Minwoo. So as he swings back now, we've seen the width in the arm swing. We've seen how well the hips rotate. So it's all pretty simple off the golf ball. Eyes stable, head stable. See how the hips wind, the shoulders turn underneath the chin. That is gorgeous right there. I've always heard if you want to make a full backswing, try to feel like you're going to kiss your chin at the top of the swing. I just love, though, the reach up here in the arms. The wider you can get a golf swing, the better. Think of Talladega Raceway versus Bristol. The big, wide, long raceway like Talladega, you can build more speed over a longer period of time. Now from here, watch how Minwoo will shift the hips back. He doesn't slide vigorously, it's just a turn, and the arms will just fall down gently in front of him. So off we go. Left hip turns back, turns out of the way, arms fall down, and check this out. Talk about compression. How about the angle of that shaft there? How about the divot he's kicking up? But it's not a downward strike. See, his body hasn't lost height. It's just the fact that he's central with his turn. His arms are extending at the right time. And again, you see the situation here where this left arm is past the body. Back of the glove hand looking at the target. And that reminds me of something that the great Claude Harmon once said. He said the left wrist, the lead wrist, should be strong like Bethlehem steel, not like linguini through contact. You want that wrist strong, just like Minwoo has, to keep the face stable. So now on the way through to the follow-through, you'll see him continue to move. That left wrist will stay strong, stay stable. Look at that, no breaking down until he's over his shoulder. And there's that three-quarter look as he's punched one into the air and likely towards the heart of the green.
He likes the spotlight.
Great shot by Minwoo.
Making a charge down this back 9. And he's got it back there.
Yes, and hardly any players have been able to get it back there. The guy does it in the last group. Just saying, I'm comfortable where I am.
Minwoo dialing it in nicely right underneath the hole.
That's the shot you want to hit to get it close to this hole location.
If you ever wonder why we talk about why length is so important these days, that's why.
Minwoo Lee looking to make some noise of his own.
Minwoo Lee, rounds of 68 and 70 the first couple of days, his second at the first. An eagle to lift him up to 8 under par.